Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Breast Cancer Physio. I'm your host Jen McKenzie, lymphedema physiotherapist and ESSA accredited exercise physiologist. I just had to start this video quickly by saying thank you to everyone who has been subscribing to my channel, leaving comments, getting in touch with me, because what is amazing for me at the moment is having this realization that so many of the issues that I'm treating patients for with breast cancer at the moment is a global problem. It's not just a problem in Australia, it's a problem worldwide. So I'm going to do a video next week for you guys that's all about the global issues that surround breast cancer treatment. So stay tuned for that one. In this video though, I'm going to be talking about a really important topic, which is how has self-lymphatic drainage massage technique changed over the last couple of years. So without further ado, if you enjoy this content, if you would like to see more, please subscribe to my channel. It is completely free and you can unsubscribe at any time if you wish. Give this video a thumbs up if you like it and leave a comment in the section below. I would love to hear from you and find out what topics around breast cancer you'd like more information on. So, how has self-lymphatic drainage massage technique changed in the last 2 years? So in 2019, a fantastic study done by the researchers at Macquarie University came out and found that two major things had changed in the way we assumed we should do self-lymphatic drainage massage. So the first thing we're going to talk about in what's changed is pressure. So firstly, what I'm going to do is go over the old technique and then I'm going to tell you what's changed for the new technique. So what we used to advise patients to do was to massage their arm lightly. So we always advised light pressure. We made the assumption that if we went too deep that we would bypass the superficial lymphatic system, so the lymphatic system that's like close to the skin, and that we wouldn't actually create effective drainage. So off that, we never used to advise patients to use creams with this style of massage. So the massage originally we taught was very, very feather light, so just being able to move the skin, and we never used to advise people to use cream. If anything, we used to say don't use a cream because that way you wouldn't like ice skate basically over the skin and miss picking up that little bit of skin that you can move if you do really light massage. So what's changed? We now are advised to use firm pressure, and this is all based off this study that the Macquarie University researchers did back in 2019. I'm going to leave a link to this study in the description bar below the video, so if anybody wants to read that study, just drop the description bar menu down just below this video and it should take you to read the full article of that study. So the thing that's changed is that we now recommend, as regarding pressure, is to do firm pressure. So don't worry if you've been performing light pressure for a long time when you do your self-lymphatic drainage. It's still effective, but it's just not as effective as firm pressure. Now, what I should say here, guys, is that when we say firm pressure, we don't mean painful pressure. So we don't want you to be going, oh my gosh, I'm doing my self-lymphatic drainage, but this is absolutely killing me. Firm pressure doesn't have to be painful, but if firm pressure becomes painful, you're going too hard. So firm pressure should be as it suggests. In actual fact, I'm going to get a little bit of QV cream here and I'll just demonstrate what firm pressure I'm talking about. So if I put a little bit of cream on my arm, essentially the pressure can be applied slowly and firmly. Now it's a little bit difficult to demonstrate firmness, but you can probably get a little bit of a gist with just watching this video that firm pressure can be done with self-lymphatic drainage more effectively than light in this fashion. So we'll go back to that in a little bit of time, but what I want to talk about here is that on the topic of pressure and direction of massage, slow is really important. So what tends to happen to me is that I will check up with my patients that I see in my clinic pretty frequently how they're going with their self-lymphatic drainage, and sometimes what happens is patients will come in and they'll say, yep, I'm going really well with my drainage. I just get in there and I get into my arm. that is too fast, people, okay? So when we are doing self-lymphatic drainage, you really want to be firm, but you also want to be slow. So I'm going to come back to that in a little while about, I've got a really corny analogy for everybody that you'll probably remember as to why we need to go firm and slow. Now, we always would teach people to do like slow massage, generally speaking, or that's what we should have been teaching people to do. So the thing that's changed with pressure is that we used to tell people to do light, and now we tell people to do firm. So as far as creams are concerned, so what creams should we use for self-lymphatic drainage? I'm going to generally recommend one of three. They're all water-based and they're low pH. So generally speaking, I'll advise either QV cream, Sorbolene cream, or Mugu. These creams, generally speaking, across the community don't cause irritation to the skin, but the number one rule for each individual should be that whatever cream you use, it doesn't cause any irritation to your skin. So the other thing I should mention as well is that some people choose to do their self-lymphatic drainage in the shower. Now, I don't have a problem with that personally. I think other therapists sometimes don't like their patients doing it in the shower because they worry that they're going to slip over the skin a little bit too much. But because the technique of this massage has changed so much, if you were to say use body wash in the shower, as long as you can grip the skin and create firm, slow pressure, I don't have any problem with my patients doing their self-lymphatic drainage in the shower, mainly because I think one of the problems with self-lymphatic drainage is that that's just another job potentially that you have to hack into your day. So if doing it in the shower is the most practical, time-conserving way for you to do that, then by all means, I think as long as it's effective and you're following the correct technique, by all means, guys, then you can do it in the shower. What's the second thing that's changed with self-lymphatic drainage? What we used to tell patients is that, say if you'd had lymph nodes removed under your left armpit, so say if you've had breast cancer on your left side, they've removed some lymph nodes on your left arm, and you have lymphedema that's come up on your left arm. So in the old technique, we used to tell people to drain the fluid from their left arm across to their right armpit, or we used to tell people to drain down towards their groin. So, and in some cases, we even got people to drain fluid across their back. So basically from armpit to armpit, but across their back. Now, again, the same study that was done at Macquarie University in 2019 found that those pathways, so the opposite armpit, the same side groin, or the pathway across the back, are nowhere near as effective, if not defunct, compared to what we now advise as the new site to drain to, which is the same side armpit. So this confuses a lot of people because a lot of patients understandably will go, hang on a minute, I've had all the lymph nodes taken out of that armpit. How could I possibly get any sort of uptake of lymphatic fluid into this side if all my lymph nodes are gone? But this study found that the most effective drainage point for the large majority of people in the study, which was close to 70%, was the same side armpit. So if you've got lymphedema on your left arm and you're doing self-lymphatic drainage, the best drainage point for you to take that excess fluid to on your left arm is your left armpit. And the same goes, or vice versa, for your right arm if you've got lymphedema on the right. If you've got lymphedema on the right, just to make it really clear, guys, you would drain that arm to your right armpit. So my theory on this, by the way, is that, lymph nodes are only just a part of your lymphatic system. So my assumption is that if you remove just the lymph nodes, there's probably other lymphatic vessels that are uptaking that excess fluid in the armpit region. So that's possibly how that's working. But certainly from a research point of view, the armpit on the same side that your lymphedema exists is the most effective drainage point. So the good news here, guys, is that this means you've actually got some time saved when you do your self-lymphatic drainage, because if you think about it, pulling fluid all the way across to the opposite side or down to the groin on the same side or across your back, that's extra shifting of fluid you've got to do. If all you've got to do is get fluid from, say, your hand or your wrist down to this armpit, you've actually saved yourself some time. Now, if guys, you would like more information on how to apply the sequence of this massage, I'll just put a little card up above me now. That's a link to my original video on how to perform self-lymphatic drainage massage after breast cancer. So that goes through where you start and where you finish with that particular technique. In this video, I just really wanted to get into how this technique has changed so much and why it has changed, because there's a lot of people who will go through breast cancer and they might be told to do the old technique. So if your medical teams or your lymphatic therapists are not keeping up to date, they may still be telling you an old technique. That's why I want to put the link in the description bar below for the study, so that if you present this to your medical professionals, they can go, okay, right, we're following current evidence-based practice here, which is really, really important. And like I said before, even if you're doing light massage, it's not that you're doing the wrong thing, it's just that you're not doing the most effective thing. And if you're going to bother to spend your time doing jobs around your breast cancer treatment or lymphedema, why not make them max out as far as their efficiency goes? So my corny analogy for you all is that I like patients to think about why this massage technique should be slow and firm rather than light and fast. So my analogy comes with my sponge here. So if you think about it, this sponge was full of water and you wanted to get all the water out of this sponge, how would you squeeze the sponge to get the water out? So we're sort of using the analogy that the sponge is like your arm. So your arm being full of excess fluid, meaning lymphedema, and the sponge being full of water. So if someone squeezed this sponge really lightly, you're not going to get too much water out of the sponge. If you give it a really gentle little squeeze, you might get a little bit out, but not much will come out. Which is similar to light massage. If you squeeze this sponge really quickly, you'll get a little bit of water out again, but you won't get the whole lot. If you squeeze this sponge really firmly and really slowly, that's going to be the thing that will drain all the water out of that sponge. So that's the corny analogy that I like to use when I'm trying to teach my patients about the new technique of self-lymphatic drainage. Think about your arm like a sponge full of water, and generally speaking, people sort of get this idea that firm, slow massage is going to be your most effective technique to get all of that excess lymphatic fluid, or as much as you can in one sitting, out of your arm. So to finish off, guys, one of the last things I want to mention in this video is the idea that with self-lymphatic drainage massage, you want to make this job as practical for you as possible, meaning there might be times of the day that suit you better than others to do the massage. So if you can hack this job into your day in the morning rather than in the evening, then I would rather my patient do it at the time that they can actually get it done. In the same way, if it's better to pick a particular location to do this massage technique, like I said before, in the shower, rather than sitting on the couch watching television, but you've got your whole family there watching you do the drainage, that can be a much better thing for you to try to aim for, rather than making it too complicated for you to actually even get into your day. The way I always pitch my self-lymphatic drainage massage frequency to patients is that I prefer them to do this massage in short, sweet bursts most days of the week, rather than sit down for 20 plus minutes at a time, doing it twice a day. It just tends to be a little bit too impractical for people to achieve that. If you can achieve that, by all means go for it, and if that's the best plan forward for you, that's okay. But as far as hacking self-lymphatic drainage into your day to make sure you get it done on a regular basis to flush that lymphatic system through regularly, I'd much prefer patients to do it in short, sweet bursts at a time of day and a location that's most practical for them. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. I hope you've gained some great information on self-lymphatic drainage technique. If you have any questions about this video, then please leave a comment in the section below. Look out for my video next week on global issues around breast cancer. I can't wait to share that one with you all. Thanks for watching. I'm Jen McKenzie, the Breast Cancer Physio, and I'll see you next time.